It's being called one of the most serious breaches in intelligence in years. 21-year-old member of the U.S. Air Force National Guard is accused of leaking some of the most sensitive classified documents on the Ukraine war and other closely held secrets. The Guardsman appeared in Boston federal court Friday to face charges under the Espionage Act. President Biden spoke out on these charges recently.
I've instructed the department to make sure that they get to the root of why he had access in the first place, number one, and number two, to focus extensively on the extent to which it all occurred.
There's a lot to go over with this. How much damage was caused by this leak? What is being done with it? We want to turn now to retired Army Major Mike Lyons, who is a security analyst and expert for us a lot of times. Mike, it wasn't all that long ago that we were talking about WikiLeaks in the frame of that was a wake-up call that the U.S. and intelligence services were going to lock down on this stuff and that wouldn't happen again. It's happened again. Why does this keep happening?
You know, Tom, it speaks to two things. It speaks first to process and the fact that this individual had this much access to the kind of classified information that would have such a short-term impact. That's the key here. Those WikiLeaks and those other leaks in the past were all about things that were going on well before and didn't necessarily affect modern time, for example, or the current day. So I think that process is somewhat been broken. And the second thing, it gets back to culture. The fact that he felt that he could do this without really any consequence or recourse. The individual from the stories are saying that he was trying to impress his friends online. So you combine those two things, you combine bad process with the fact that he didn't think there would be a consequence, you get this kind of result. And it's as damaging as anything because of the impact, how far and wide this leak goes. You
know, Mike, for years we had heard from intelligence sources that the one thing that intelligence agencies had to do was better sharing amongst agencies. But, you know, is there a line of possession here that we know who has this stuff, that this is going to the people who should be having it, not some 21-year-old, you know, Air National Guardsman up in Massachusetts?
No, I think so. The fact that you had chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff type of information came from the Joint Staff, you know, the highest levels of intel coming from all the different agencies as well as from other countries. It looks like the distribution list was over 5,000 people that had also access to this information. Once it got placed on a server someplace, that's really what it also comes down to. So, you know, to say sleep at the switch, all those normal phrases that you used in this time just kind of don't cut it, given the fact that the sensitivity of this information was such that it, again, impact on the ground. Sources were likely burned. There's lots of people that were worried about their lives once this story broke last week.
How much damage in the near term do you think this has done?
Well, anything in the near term, I think eventually gets fixed over time, let's say. But right now, all of the other agencies and countries, for example, are closing down their intel. We're not going to have the same level of intelligence on Russia, for example, in Ukraine. That's been a tremendous aid to the Ukraine military as they've tried to fight that war. I think Russia's going to do what they can to close ranks on this. There's embarrassing moments in there with regard to our giving out information from other countries. China and our adversaries will use that against our allies as well. And you put all of this together and you get a very short-term problem that over time gets healed. But again, for right now, it's something that we're going to have to deal with.
Hey, Mike, I want to change gears. There was a report that came out looking back at what happened with the U.S. withdrawal out of Afghanistan. Of course, that's seen at the airport. In large measure, this report came out from the Biden administration blaming the Trump administration for what it said were failures in the lead up to the withdrawal. White House leaned in on this a lot and got a lot of blowback of the fact that the withdrawal actually happened during the Biden administration, not the Trump information. For somebody in the national security sector, what did you make of that? And was the Biden White House playing a blame game in this?
Yeah, I was surprised, and it looked like it was kind of a late week kind of news dump over a long holiday weekend. If they really wanted to blame the Trump administration, they would have been that, first and center. They would have been out in front of that a lot sooner. Really disappointed that they pointed to that because there's just no excuse for the loss of U.S. soldiers and Marines that were killed in that attack there. Protection of the force is always the number one focus that should have been during that mission, and it just wasn't. That was chaotic. You didn't need a report to tell you and see what was going on. It just didn't happen overnight as well. It took place over a couple of weeks.
What, in your opinion, though, was the point of that then? Because all it really did was spur up another conversation about the failures that went on at that airport. Was there any goal to this in your mind, or was this simply to kind of, say, oh, it wasn't our fault?
Yeah, I mean, perhaps from a political perspective, which, again, I hate to see that painted when you're involving the military, to put a stake in the ground and say, look, this is what we think happened at that point in time. Let's move forward. Maybe the administration will look back on it in the coming elections and say, this is what how that report went down. So it's again, an unfortunate type of report. Didn't expect it to see when it came out, and to blame the previous administration. The previous administration was focused on conditions. The conditions were set while the president was in office, while Joe Biden was in office, and I think that the administration has to take responsibility for how that plan was executed.
Retired U.S. Army Major Mike Lyons, we appreciate you for joining us this Sunday morning with some of your insights.